It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Like, no kidding, huh? Well, so this morning, everybody's got their undies in a wad because the IRS has been sending Trump flu relief checks to dead people. Oh my God! This is so screwed up. Dead people are getting checks, and I've called the IRS 15 times and I can't get an answer as to what I'm supposed to do with the check. Tear up the goddamn check. This does not seem like a big mystery. Tear up the check. Don't cash it. Jesus. I mean, if you thought about that the government would like slow down and make sure they didn't send any checks to dead people, well, then everybody have their undies in a wad about where's my money. So, I don't know. I get tired of people who color inside the lines. Now, when I was in law school, a guy stopped by Alan Thorpe was his name. He stopped by to see if I wanted to go to lunch. We had a little routine. He'd stick his head over the top of the study carrel, and he'd say, Jeet, and I'd say, Jew, and he'd say, Seat, and off we'd go. So he looks down on my study carrel and he says, is there a reason all of your books are stamped property of Lynn Fielding? And I said, yeah, well, what's the purpose of a book stamp? It's so that if your books have a name all over them, people are not going to steal them, because then they can't take them to class and it's harder to sell them, with somebody else's name on them. It's like that. And I said, now, do I care whose name is on the book? Fielding knows that these are not his books. He knows these are my books. So I don't care whose name is on the books, just so a name is on the book. And my friend looks at me and he says, I think I know why you're not doing well in law school. Your thinking is irregular. And that's what it is with these tax checks. So, so what? Send the checks out to dead people. Just don't cash them. All right, so one day I get this client who wants to sue, I guess he sued the city of Kennewick because they had recently divided the city up into wards differently than before. And the consequence is going to be that for this one election, there were going to be as many people in Ward 3 as there were in 1 and 2 combined, which meant that the vote of a person in Ward 3 was going to be worth half as much as the vote of a person in the other 2 wards. So we're in front of Judge Staples and we're arguing about this and what can we do? And an irregular thought comes to me, and I says, well, look, so the auditor is on the witness stand. He's saying, I can't just mail the ballots to the people that are going to be in Ward 2 but are now in Ward 3 because the people are voting on something that wouldn't affect them. So they shouldn't, if I gave them a ballot for Ward 2, they'd end up voting on something that they shouldn't vote on. And I said, Your Honor, this is not a problem. Mail them the ballot, let them vote, and then you just don't count that particular box where they voted for something that doesn't affect them. The judge looks at me and he thinks about that for a little bit, and then he says, yeah, you bet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a ruling that has half the citizens of the city of Kennewick calling up to ask, why their vote doesn't count. Forget it. Leave everything the way it is till after the election. We lost. So, irregular thinking has served me well at times, saved a little bit of money on book stamps, and other times has not served me quite as well. I am married to a lady that very much likes to color inside the lines, and so irregular thinking sets her teeth on edge.